LinkedIn is different from any other channel that you're marketing or selling through. For one, your profile is tied to your real name. You can even verify your identity. LinkedIn is also what we like to call a gated channel. That means you can only message people that you are already connected with. And LinkedIn enforces some strict rate limits in terms of the number of connection requests you can send and the number of messages you can send. Currently, those limits are around 100 connection requests per week. It's maybe a little higher if you have premium, and 100 to 150 messages per week to your existing connections. Behind the scenes, LinkedIn also has an invisible trust score. That's going to impact whether your messages end up in the focused or the other inbox, which can have a huge impact on whether or not your prospects actually see the messages that you're sending. This trust score is designed to detect spam-like activity, and it's more critical of new accounts. So your account needs to be warmed up similar to how you would warm an email domain for sending. FirstTouch is built with these unique factors in mind so that you can automate LinkedIn activity without worrying about your account getting flagged. We've included features like an action queuing system and a sending schedule to ensure that your trust score stays high and your messages get seen. FirstTouch enforces rate limits that are even more strict than LinkedIn's own limits. By default, we have you set to 10 connections and 20 messages per day, but you can increase or decrease these in your settings. So what happens if you enroll more contacts than you can send in a day? That's why FirstTouch has a queuing system. We schedule connections and messages with brief, randomized delays between sends. This ensures LinkedIn isn't flagging your profile for behavior that looks like spam. If you have 50 messages in your queue and your limit is 20 per day, it'll schedule out 20 today and 20 for tomorrow and so on until the queue is empty. That means while a send connection or send message action may trigger today, that contact is only being added to the queue. Actually sending the connection or message may be delayed several hours or even days, depending on what is already in your queue. That's also why we've added these pauses. So in a workflow action in HubSpot, you can pause the workflow until the request is actually sent, in case you have actions after that connection request where you want to make sure that the request was sent prior to executing that next step. The other option is that you can continue immediately, which will execute steps regardless of whether the connection request has been sent or not. In FirstTouch's outreach queue, you can see all of the actions that are completed, scheduled, or awaiting some action for you, like an approval, in order to proceed. If you have high priority actions that you need to send in a timely manner, you can set prioritization in your flow settings. A prioritization of high means that any actions coming from this flow will be added to the very top of your outreach queue, skipping the line of anything that's already in there. This is great for something like following up on a demo request, which you want to happen as soon as possible. Medium prioritization is first in, first out, which is the default for any flows you create in FirstTouch and for HubSpot workflow actions. Low prioritization means the actions will be added to the bottom of your queue. This is good for when you don't care when the action happens, like sending connection requests after somebody engages with one of your posts. In addition to rate limits and queuing, you can also set up a sending schedule. These are timed windows when your FirstTouch agent operates. It's great for avoiding conflicts with your manual activity. For example, if you do most of your manual LinkedIn activity in the morning, you could set FirstTouch to operate in the afternoon, so you're not sending connections and messages at the same time. The added benefit here is that LinkedIn will only see you logged into one device at a time instead of seeing you logged in and executing actions from two places at once. This is usually not a cause for concern unless you have extremely high levels of manual activity in addition to your scheduled FirstTouch activity. By leveraging a sending schedule, prioritization, and adhering to rate limits, you can ensure that your LinkedIn trust score stays high and your messages actually get seen by your prospects. If you have any questions or concerns about account safety, we have extensive safety documentation, which you can find in a link below this video.